So for number one, vast majority means more than just a majority. When you say 60%, 60% is of a majority. But when you get closer to 90%, above 80%, that's a vast majority. So if you were doing some surveys or some marketing, and you said research shows that 90% of the people surveyed responded well to this, you could say research shows a vast majority of the people responded well to this. Yeah. Number two, emblazoned. So emblazoned is anytime that you have something that is, it's just, you cannot forget it. It's unforgettable. Something emblazoned in your mind means that it is just, it's forever stamped in your mind. You can't forget that image. Also, we use the word emblazoned to say that maybe you have a very powerful image to represent something, so it can be like a brand logo. When you think of McDonald's, every McDonald's restaurant is emblazoned with the golden arch, right? Next is soulful. Anything that is soulful, it just feels like it comes from so deep inside of you. It's a very, very deep emotion. So it can be like soulful music, right? If you listen to like some old jazz, it's very soulful, and you just feel like kind of depressed and just like, wow, that's really deep. Number four, anthem. So an anthem is sort of like a song that represents like people or a subject. For example, you have the national anthem. That's the song of your country. Or you have an anthem to your generation, meaning your generation has maybe some very popular songs that represent the time that you came from. So, you know, it gets overused and people say it a lot, but, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, the anthem of the world was Gangnam Style, right? Or, you know, if you were talking about the anthem of your generation, you can talk about like a famous song that was like a pop song, or even like a famous song from a TV show, if it's a TV show that everyone knows from that generation. So maybe like the generation from, you know, 15 years ago, that generation, a famous anthem from that generation is the theme song from Friends. I guess it's 20 years ago. Oh, I'm old. So yeah, the theme song from Friends would be like a famous anthem for that generation.
So anthem is just the song, not
Yes, it can be a
team
song.
or
It can be like a
sports
anything
theme.
that represents any kind of music that represents a certain subject or people. So a sports theme, like a sports game,
Anthem.
can have their own anthem. Yeah. You can have an anthem for your team. Even like if you guys watch wrestling, I don't know if anybody does, but every wrestler has their own anthem when they walk out on stage. And then, you know, you hear their anthem, and then all the fans go crazy, and they're like, ah, you know, because of the music. That's their anthem. So anything that represents someone and has be a very strong or symbolic song, or very popular. Yeah.
I heard anthem jackets. What does that mean? Anthem jacket?
Anthem jacket.
Jackets.
I don't know if I know that. I have to look.
It's just a song, right? So,
Yeah. I don't know of any anthem jackets. Might be like a special term for something that
Okay.
is only for that. As far as I know, I've never heard of it. I didn't see anything online either. Number 5, visceral. So, like I said, to say the word is kind of hard. Visceral. Visceral is the experience you feel from something that is just it kind of blows you away, or it's a very strong feeling. So if you go to a concert and you know they're playing a certain song, and all of a sudden that song you just your whole body, you get goosebumps because you're like, wow, this is really good. That's a visceral experience. And you feel like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And in that moment, that experience that you have is visceral. It's a very deep, emotional experience, very strong, and it makes you feel like very aware and connected at the same time. Actually, a lot of these are very emotional words. The next one, tug at the heartstrings. Have you ever heard that before? If you see like a sad movie or a really sad documentary, they really tug at your heartstrings. It makes you sad. So your heart, and then it's pulling your heart. So it makes you very emotional. You respond to that with a lot of emotion. So yeah, it could be like a sad movie. It can be a documentary. It can be like some very sad news. So any kind of moment that just makes you feel a lot of emotion is very sad emotions, though. It tugs at your heartstrings.
What does it mean? Tug.
Tug, like pull.
It's a
Yeah.
tag?
Like pulling.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like tag.
No, it's more like imagine a puppet. You have a puppet and you control the puppet with the strings. So it's like if your heart was a puppet and there was strings connected and you control it. It's like you're pulling the strings. It's kind of it sounds a little dramatic, actually. You feel a lot of sympathy and compassion towards something. And then last 7, I think that's kind of very easy. The note of a song is just the tune or the pitch. So it's like, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. And if you're singing off note, that means you are not singing very well. So, for example, if you go to the norebang and you think you're just a great singer and you're going to hit every note, but you had too much to drink and then you're just like, then you're singing off note. And that's it for today.